great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. I am so honored to be here with you all today. I don't know what the weather is like in everybody else's area, but it has been some interesting weather in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I don't know, where are you located, Lori?
I'm near Rochester, New York, the upstate western part.
Girl, you know how the weather is up there. They're like 10-foot snow drifts and stuff. You come out and you come from being awake at night, come into the daylight, and you see this bright, beautiful light, only to find out that there's snow that's filling the door all the way up to almost like here. You're like, what?
I was going to say the light wasn't the sunshine, the gray clouds and the snow sometimes. So yes, burr.
That's funny. And literally across the road, the snow drifts are like crazy. I'm like, this is crazy. Like all the snow is just coming from on the side of the road into the highway. Is that happening?
Yes.
Wow. So you have to bring the sunshine yourself over there, right?
That's right.
Well, I'm really glad that you're here today. And everyone that's grabbing your virtual seats, we're glad to have you all as well. So make sure you all come on in and have a great experience. We're going to be talking today with Lori Bruton, who is here to talk to us about the Lori factor. Actually, she's termed it as the Lori factor, which is a good thing. We're going to learn more about what that is today. But Lori, if you would just tell us in like 30 seconds or less type of thing, just what people can expect today hearing from you.
Well, I loved your intro where you talk about your guests are people that have overcome things or maybe help others overcome things. And I'm in both of those categories. So I have definitely had some defining moments that now have brought me through, and I give people hope. People call me the Queen of Hope. So I have tips and strategies and stories galore.
Okay, so we're going to hear some of those stories throughout today's episode. And I would love to know how you in the virtual studio audience, how do you break up with self-sabotage? How do you break up with those self-limiting beliefs? Because we all have them. Things that are just talking to us, on one shoulder. And it's like, I know you're not thinking that you're going to do this. Oh, well, you can do this because guess what? You can do all things. You can do all things. You are more than a conqueror. Well, because you're more than a conqueror, remember that everybody sees when you're not conquering things too. So therefore, you're a public figure and everybody's watching what you're saying you're going to be able to do. So it's like so many different warring thoughts, right?
Yes.
So we're going to talk about those today, everybody. What are some of your self-limiting beliefs and how do you overcome them yourself personally? Put that in the comment section. We're going to take a commercial break and come back. By that time, everyone's in your seats and we're going to hear from Lori Bruton right after this commercial break. We'll be right back.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented. And I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Average. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Let Hunter Average Law Firm help you if you're dealing with workers' compensation, if you're dealing with the wrongful death of a loved one, if you're dealing with any type of disability claims. Give them a call and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. Their phone number is 704 457-5000. Again, 704-457-5000. And again, let them know we sent you over to them. Okay. All right. So Lori Bruton is pronounced Bruton, like kind of brewing a tea type of thing. And she is a fun-filled woman of faith, known as the Queen of Hope. She has inspired people, leaving lasting impressions, and she's the best-selling author of the book, The Lori Factor, Live the Life You Were Born to Live. The Lori Factor, Live the Life You Were Born to Live. And I'm so honored to have her here today. She's also enjoys freelance and traveling, and won some contests, which we can talk more about as well. And she's just a fun-filled woman of faith who enjoys quite a few things that are some delicacies that she likes, which we'll talk about more as well. So welcome, Lori, to the Kim Jacobs Show. Are you muted over there? I think you're muted, but you can unmute yourself. In the meantime, I'll tell everybody, this is the book that she has recently written called The Lori Factor, and it's Live the Life You Were Born to Live by Lori Bruton. And okay, go ahead, talk to us, Lori.
Okay, now can you hear me better?
We can hear you. Yes, yes.
Excellent. So yes, that book came about in a very unique way. And I was asked by Les Brown, on an interview, what's a defining moment in your life? A moment where after that, nothing was ever the same. And I thought, oh, wow. The defining moment that came to me was one of the most embarrassing, dark moments of my life. And I'm like, did I just say that out loud? Like, oh my goodness.
Did you say it to him? You said it out loud with the defining
I did. And we were on this virtual networking event, and I had the privilege of being interviewed by him and him asking me that question. And from there, he took that story of when I had lost all hope but then, of course, overcame it, still here to talk about it. And he turned it into a story of hope. And that's where the Lori Factor was born, because from that dark moment I came out of, and he made my name have new meaning, which then can give other people hope. So for example, the L is have a larger vision of yourself. And you can also build a legacy. So I've added that in the process of the Lori Factor.
Wait a minute. Somebody type that. Have a larger vision. Somebody in the studio audience that's being very student-like, type L. Have a larger vision for yourself. Okay. Go ahead.
And sure, there we go.
Yeah,
and a little perfect. Okay, great. O is have an optimistic spirit. And also, when you're optimistic, you find right opportunities. Then R is reinvent yourself. Make a radical change.
So L, wait a minute, I'm going to type myself over here too. Have a larger vision for yourself. And then you said O is what?
Optimistic spirit.
Optimistic spirit. O is optimistic spirit. Okay. That's good. Okay. And then R is what?
R is reinvent yourself.
Okay. Reinvent yourself. All right. And then the I.
I invest in yourself. You are an asset to the planet.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to break this down a little bit more, even because I'm typing, but I also wanted to make sure I go back and understand when you say having a larger vision for yourself. Talk to us more about how people that are tuning in today can really have that larger vision than what they may currently have.
So one would be, you need to identify your limiting beliefs. Because when we have limiting beliefs, we can't see beyond those. and to see beyond our circumstances. Sometimes we let our circumstances dictate, having that bigger picture.
That's right.
And the other huge way to have that bigger picture is when you can't see it in yourself. As Les Brown says, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame.
That's
Well,
right.
then when you see yourself as God sees you, as you were created, because there's greatness in you, that allows your vision to be larger. Because we're here not just for ourselves, but then that larger vision will impact so many more lives, not just our own.
That's right. That's good. And then you say to be optimistic, and have that optimistic spirit. What does that look like from your perspective?
Yes, so to know that anything is possible, just believe that anything is possible. And from there, you can dream and bring your dreams into reality. Because on the other end of that, if you're looking at, oh, I can't do that, or you're the problem finder instead of the problem solver, that's not being optimistic. So that mindset of optimism, and then just taking action, having that positive attitude is
That's
so
good.
important.
That's good. Good. Just having a better outlook and being kind to yourself. It's a lot of different ways that we can handle ourselves. So I'm grateful that you're saying just having that optimistic approach. And then, you said reinvent yourself. I want to make sure that I pop that one up. Reinvent yourself. Talk about that.
That gives me chills to even think about where I used to be in that dark place in my life where just everything came up from things I buried for years and knocked me down. But again, Les Brown's one of my favorite guys. I use quotes: when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Get up. Yes, yes. These are some memorable quotes that are game changers, because every time I ever think about times that I've fallen in any regard, I immediately think about that quote. I'm like, okay, as long as you can lay back, guess what? You can get up. So that's the point. And so I'm looking up, and I've also heard it said that if you're at the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of another mountain. So at the end of the day, you still have to always be willing to climb a mountain in our lives. And by the yard is hard. Les says by the yard is hard, but inch by inch,
It's a cinch.
it's a cinch. So
That's
Dr.
right.
Les Brown has some of the best quotes you could ever implement in your life, right?
Absolutely. So from there, thinking of who I used to be, and then have the hope, the determination to get up. And, at that point, I let go of God, and it doesn't work without him. I figured that out. So now that Lori, who was in that place of hopelessness, she's dead and gone. And now I am a new creature, and I have reinvented myself. And that's how the transition helped me transform. And now I'm transforming other lives and giving people hope with the Lori factor. Yes.
Okay. And then the I in the Lori factor was invest in yourself. How do people invest in themselves when they may not know exactly what to even invest in?
Oh, great question. And first of all, know that Warren Buffett, one of the richest guys, right? And he was asked once, what's the best investment you can make? His answer was in yourself. So that is true. And over the years, I've invested $500,000 in myself, in personal development, in coaches, in programs, in book projects. So what I have now is I documented all that, and I created a spreadsheet of the opportunities that I have invested in that have been good ones. And so many people, especially entrepreneurs, so many opportunities come across and they're like, which one? Are any of these good? Are they right for me? Are they not? So I've created an asset that I give away for free to say, here's different types of opportunities. Here's my experience with those opportunities. I even rated them. I gave them a grade. And I also describe what the opportunity is, what the promises of those opportunities, and then what they deliver and what their guarantees are, because you got to know what to look for. So I've learned through my experience what to look for.
That's
And
good.
when to say yes and when to say no. So my experience of investing in myself, and definitely have made some not wise decisions, but now I have more wisdom, I have the experience, and I help others with opportunities and finding out what their opportunities. Maybe they're offering their own, but I love to have conversations and to be able to offer that asset of my documented list to help others invest wisely.
That's good. So you actually have a free tool for people that will help them make some good decisions and wise decisions as to what they will invest in that benefits them personally. Then they'll know what to look for. Do you have like one or two you want to share with us off of that list? I know you're going to be giving it as a resource, but it may be
I
one or two.
do.
Yeah, tell us.
I'm so excited. The one that's most recent, and it's been an amazing experience. In fact, I'm talking to the guy who I worked with on this, and it's a co-author book project. So
Okay.
I am co-author in a few books, but this one in particular is one where they promise a customized book cover. So you get your own picture on the cover with celebrity status. In my case, it is endorsed by Tony Robbins. So his and Kevin Harrington and from Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah,
So
you got some heavy hitters supporting and endorsing you.
yes, tomorrow I'll be interviewing the man who connected me and who has this opportunity, and everything they promised, they've delivered on. And it's
Awesome.
been a great experience, and they've done this. So they have the experience. They guarantee bestseller. So if someone's looking to be in a co-author book project, I can hook you up.
She can hook you up, you guys. And how do they stay connected with you so I can make sure that people know throughout the broadcast how to stay connected with you?
Yes, and especially that, and especially to get that free gift of the list of opportunities. And my experience with them is to text in the number, the 585-371-8328.
All right.
And
Say
then,
that number one more time.
yes, text me at 585-371-8328. And I
All
can
right.
send you that free gift, and I'd be happy to hop on a call with anybody who'd like to request a call as well.
That's good. So listen, you don't have to wait to learn more about the Lori Factor. You can officially get how to invest in yourself. What are some tools that you need to be able to make those decisions? And you can text 585-371-8328, 8328. And that will get you the gifted list that she's going to give you. And then it'll also, let me mute that first. It'll also get you the free gifted list, and you'll learn more about the consultations pertaining to being one of those celebrity status book authors that she can share more information with you about. All right. So Lori, when we come back from this commercial break, I would love to learn more about just some of the things that you really enjoy doing in your life, and what made you make a conscious decision to stop self-sabotaging? Because a lot of times it comes to that bump in the road. What was that bump in the road for you that really brought all of this about to say, enough is enough? I'm not going to keep doing this to myself. Right?
Yes.
So when we come back, I want to hear about that. And also, I want to let you all know if any of you are interested in advertising on the Kim Jacobs Show, especially in the upcoming season and year here, make sure you know that you can definitely email at kimjacobsshow at gmail.com, kimjacobsshow@gmail.com, and we can send you a sponsorship package to find out how you can be a part of advertising on our broadcast. And today, there are people that have already been doing this, but if you'd like to just get a quick shout out during this episode, please make sure you use one of the methods to support the Kim Jacobs Show, which thank you for you all already supporting. I believe this is a ministry. So when people do support, know that you're pouring into something that I'm trying to pour back, that I'm definitely pouring back into you to make sure I bring on wonderful guests like you see today. But you can send a Cash App to $Kimjacobsinc, or you can do PayPal by just going to paypal.me/KimJacobsInc. And we have Venmo as well at the Kim Jacobs Show. Some of you may want behind the scenes exclusive content that I don't share with anybody else. You can join our Patreon, patreon.com/The Kim Jacobs Show. So those are some of the ways, especially for our audio podcast listeners that aren't seeing the screen as well. We're going to take a commercial break and come back and hear from Lori Bruton as to what was that defining moment. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, we are back and we're talking with Lori Bruton today, the Lori Factor, how to stop self-sabotaging. And so, Lori, tell us your journey.
Family, 2 sons, husband, and life was great until everything I'd buried my whole life that I didn't even realize I had done came bursting out of me, causing a breakdown. And it led to, from there, ended up with a divorce and toxic relationships. And therefore, there were no self-love. And I let go of God. So God is love. And without him, it literally broke me down, had me doing things the real me would never do. I'm like, who is that person? Who was that person? I didn't even recognize myself. And I think what just came to mind right now is I feel like I was punishing myself, not consciously, but maybe at that time I felt I didn't deserve it. And I was looking for approval, possibly, and looking for love in all the wrong places, so to speak. And like Tina Turner says, what's love got to do with it? Well, that's the name of one of my chapters.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the place I was in. And one other defining moment before I had the interview with Les was I was on a stage at an event with actually Gary Cox, COXE. I don't know if you've heard of him, behavioral strategist, business guy. And I had the privilege to be on his stage. And he asked me some questions. And first it's like, well, what do you like to do? And I told him, well, I've always liked to write. I always wanted to be a published author. And then he asked me questions about my relationship. And at that time, I felt like I was so in love. By then I was divorced and everything. So, and then the more he asked me, he's like, you do know that's a toxic relationship, right? And I go, are you sure?
This is your first marriage or your second one? Or?
Well, it was after my marriage and then the man I was involved with afterwards,
Okay.
but I was not in a healthy state of mind or just state of life at that time. So therefore, I attracted a toxic relationship. And I was in that for, I kept hanging on
Mm.
15 years.
Oh my goodness. Wait.
And
So this is bizarre. You're saying that you recognize that it was toxic based on Gary Cox telling you this, and then you still kind of just hung in there because of why? Why did you hang in there?
I did prior to the Gary Cox stage event because I was afraid to let go.
Okay.
And
Mm.
I thought things would change, and I didn't know what life would look like without him, but I didn't realize the damage it was doing to myself. I didn't love myself enough. And I put up with his behavior and his lies and his cheating. And it sounds crazy, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Not for just so you know, for me, no, it does not. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the studio audience too. Does it sound crazy that you keep hope alive, as Jesse Jackson would say? Keep hope alive through it all. Keep hope alive. No war, no barrier, no wall of resistance can stop the onslaught of persistent hope. And so through it all, guess what? We keep hope alive. That's Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
We all want to have hope and belief that things can get better than what they may currently look like. So please, okay, yeah, please. I was like, somebody in the studio audience chime in and tell me your thoughts. Sandy Sanders, which if you all are not and talking about authors, she's actually doing a big authors thing on her show, Coffee Conversations with Sandy. And all of these different authors from all walks of life are appearing over the next weeks on her show. So go and check it out. Please. She said, no, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. My mom is on. Hey, mom. She said, good morning, ladies. This is a great show about self-sabotaging. Yes, it is. Sandy says, hey, afraid to let go? Real talk. It can happen. Yes, it can happen. Yes. Great comments, you all. So no, I don't see it as we need to keep hope alive. So that's why I believe in kind of what you were doing. But 15 years is a long time to keep hope alive, right?
Exactly. Not only that, it was scandalous with the interracial relationship. It's like, wow, how could she, this this church girl who, blah blah blah, the perfect little, life with the white picket fence, so to speak, and then all of a sudden, boom, like, wow, I shocked a lot of people, including myself,
Wait a
because
minute,
it,
wait. I didn't know you were gonna say this. I didn't know you were gonna say nothing about no interracial relationship. So we gotta this right here, gotta deep dive a little bit more. What made that come about? Gotta play some music behind this. Go ahead. What made that come about that you were in this interracial relationship and family and friends and people judging? Talk to us for a second.
well, okay, let's go there.
Just one of those episodes where you see them, I don't know, the Bell or whatever these different shows are that's out here that got a little bit of drama to them. I'm like, okay, you done turned into a drama episode. Go ahead.
So what happened was the church I was going to what do I want to say? A class. It was a class to help other people. And so I thought, oh, I want to help other people. So each week we went over topics like divorce and death and all of that. Well, what happened was it triggered my own personal stuff I'd been through. Here I am, happily married, 2 wonderful sons. And then that class triggered so much of my own stuff I'd buried. It just came bursting out of me. So then I went to this group of people who, once you need a little help along the way, of people who've been through that stuff, like, what do I do now? How do I get back to a better state? And that's where, through that whole time, I ended up meeting this beautiful Black man. Didn't have any intentions. I felt like he understood me. We got talking. And also, he was in a little bit of a tough place. And my mother always told me, you seem to fall for guys you feel sorry for.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, maybe. May she rest in peace. Mom was right. Moms can see stuff we can't sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, that's how that began, and never thought that's where I'd end up. But there was something about him, I'll tell you. If you read my book, you'll get the juicy details there of like, whoa, how did this happen?
Get the book, right? Have you ever fallen for someone that you felt sorry for in life? I'd love to hear your answers in the studio audience, because the answer is yes, all of us have. You can see something in someone that maybe they don't see in themselves, and you're like, I can make a difference in that person's life. But we can't change anybody. All we can do is share the information. That's it.
The other thing with that, though, is he's a charmer. He knew just the right things to say. And of course, because I didn't love myself enough at that time, you know how those types can be, where they... It reminds me of the movie The Family That Prays, and I never knew what the word narcissist meant. And looking back, now I can see those characteristics, and I just fell for it. I believed it. I thought he truly did love me, and that's why I think I kept hanging on, because I truly fell for him. And wow, I'll tell you what, Kim.
Tell me.
The shame and guilt I dealt with. I had a great family.
Right.
It's like, what have I done? So to then deal with that, forgive myself, and finally come to where someone's like, hello, Gary's like, so this is a toxic relationship. Are you still going to keep doing what you're doing? Are you ready to make a change? I'll tell you what, on that stage, I had my notebook in my hand and I threw it down. I said, all right, I'm ready. And he's like, all right. Said, ready to make a phone call? I'm like, right now?
On the stage in front of everybody, in front of this 1,000 people conference, you want me to call my interracial boyfriend and 15 years,
Yes.
my beautifully crafted African-American boyfriend, that I feel like this is like a toxic situation, and you want me to call him in front of everybody and break up? Okay, go ahead.
And then I said to him, I just talked to him on lunch break. He goes, oh, good job. And I remember saying to him, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, don't worry, when you get back, we'll work it out. But something in my head said, and my heart said, you've heard this before and nothing's ever changed.
Wow. Yeah. Were you nervous about going back and then encountering the situation again? Because it's like at this point, you've already called it to the public and to the carpet, basically.
Didn't have to, because you know what happened next?
Okay, no, girl. This is a whole show.
Hold up.
So time out. What I want you to do is hold that thought right after this commercial break. And I mean, y'all need to type in, tell us what happened, Lori. Tell us what happened next. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We'll be back. Oh, gee. Let's see. Take us to commercial. We'll be right back. Okay, let me go. Take us to some commercial break here, because I can't wait to hear what happened next. Anybody else in the studio audience wanna know what happened? I know I do. I'll be right back.
Why learn about health when you can experience it? Experience it in beautiful Florida in February 2024. Join us for 3 days of integrative and intensive health and healing education and empowerment with the expertise of the following Healthopedia author, speaker, and facilitators. The world-renowned homeopath and acupuncture physician, Dr. James Marinakis, 4-decade health coach and holistic nutritionist, Dr. Joe D. Bear, and others such as Kimberly Meredith, Dame Doria Cordova, Rex Sykes, Dr. Gary Sanchez, Jamie Kerr, Serena Brown-Travis, and more. Experience daily morning walking and yoga, interactive participation, panel discussions, and more for your own epiphany of health. Get your tickets now.
All right, Sandy Sanders says, yes, tell us what happened. Tell us what happened. Okay, time out. Tell us what happened next. I see, yes. We want to know what happened. Oh, Sheila Hill, you guys, she has different 30-day challenges going on. She's helping different podcasters that are doing their programs, and she has an amazing show. Sheila Hill, you definitely want to check her out. She said, yes, we want to know. Tell us what happened next. Time out. She said, okay, lots of things that people are chiming in and saying nothing has never changes when it's kind of those situations is what she's saying. All right. So I hope I'm not missing any of your comments because they're flooding in, but go ahead and take a moment and tell us what happened.
Dun, dun, dun. There I was on that stage. It must have been Holy Spirit courage rose up in me. And I said, all right, I'm ready. And even though I'd spoken to him on lunch break, like I said, I just knew nothing was truly ever going to change. It hadn't before. So, and note that he's a musician. So, and he plays by ear. So he has a good ear.
Right.
So here I am making a phone call. And I said, hi. He goes, oh, hi, what's up?
Were you on speaker?
Yeah, so the whole audience. Wait, I need to.
This might be my most dramatic episode. Wait a minute, y'all. Jacob Sheldon got some drama. Go.
So I need to tell you this part first. Before the phone call, Gary asked me somewhere along the way, well, what do you like to do? And what do you do like for fun? And what do you feel gives you power? And so I love boats. So I told him I love boats, riding in a boat. I haven't really driven a boat at that point, but he's like, all right, picture yourself in a boat with your hand on the throttle and you're just ready. And from there, I'm like, full throttle, baby. So that gave me the courage and a visual to then hang on to while I made this phone call. Takes me back to that moment because he had the whole audience. They were standing up, listening to this conversation on speaker with their hands on the throttle, virtually, like just imagining it and giving me courage, like, go. And then I said to him, I said to this man I'd been with and was in love with and all of that, and I had the courage, I said, I'm calling to say I love you, but we're not healthy for each other anymore.
Okay.
And we need to be done. I'm like, who just said that? I just say that out loud.
Not the Lori I know. You better look here. You better get yourself back home. That's what I do know. You're going to get yourself back here and we're going to deal with it later. Okay, go ahead.
So he goes, oh, all right. So you have somebody else? And I'm thinking, what? And what came to me is that I said, so I guess he thought I had another guy. Like what?
Right.
And I said, no, I have me. I'm like, whoa.
I have another person, but the person is me.
Yeah. So that's when I said it out loud. I made that phone call. And from there, I made sure that we made the agreement he needed to pack up and be gone, and not, I didn't have to go back and face him or have any conversation. Like, that was it. That broke it off.
Did he honor that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's a good outcome. And you know what? The funny part is over there, your light is glowing in and out.
I
And
know.
it didn't do that the whole show. I noticed these kind of things. I'm like, that didn't happen the whole show, but it's like now it's like an illumination of God's light, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm being philosophical, but the point is, it is happening right now. I think everybody can see it. It's not just me, right?
Right? It's like,
Can you see it happening?
I finally let my light shine. I came out of the darkness.
That's the beautiful part. Even if it's ironic or happenstance, which I don't believe anything happens by happenstance. The point is, it's happening right now while you're making this profound point of 15 years being with someone. How many of us in this audience today have been with someone for longer than you really should have been because you're thinking about the other person and you're not thinking about yourself? And that's whether it's a relationship, friendship, whether it's just something you need to do to break up with something for yourself that you're doing to yourself. Okay, we're going to talk to, I looked up an article and I think it's very appropriate for this episode. How to stop self-sabotage, and it's from Psychology Today is where I'm getting it, and I will put it in the comment section. But one, it says knowing yourself. To fight the cycle of self-sabotage, it's important to learn your own triggers and what identifies your self-sabotaging behavior. You have any thoughts on that? Just knowing yourself, Lori?
Yes, because before I wasn't even aware of my self-talk, of how I saw myself. Mm-hmm. So what changed for me too was awareness and then taking action. Mm-hmm. In fact, after that whole so after I made that phone call, that was like the hardest thing ever. My heart was breaking, but I knew I'd made the right decision. Right. Finally. And my son and daughter-in-law were there. And after that phone call, they were able to come up on stage. They play the sound people played Overcomer by Mandisa. And we just had a group hug, and it was like a defining moment. From there was a publisher in the audience, and he came up to me and said, I know you want to be a published author. I'm a publisher, and I'd like to publish your first book.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. And I knew there was something.
Immediately something happened that was favorable for you because you stepped out of your comfort zone, got on a stage in front of thousands of people, put your ex-boyfriend on speaker, declared and decreed some things, and then God's favor immediately opened up for you.
Absolutely.
That's unbelievable.
A God opportunity for sure. And from there, I knew prior to going, I was supposed to book another week to stay in Florida. Mm-hmm. I didn't know why at the time. And then after that, I knew why. Because my first book poured out of me. So I'm typing for a whole week. I just pouring it out. And from there, that's when my first book, Hole to Hole, HOLE to WHOLE, Journey to Hope and Transformation, that book was born. And that was before the Lori Factor. So that's all part of my journey of that defining moment, my first book, making those hard decisions, breaking up with a toxic relationship because I was in it, because I had self-doubt, self-hatred even at that time. And so therefore I kept self-sabotaging myself. And how I broke up with that is first breaking off that toxic relationship and changing my thoughts, how I saw myself. And from there, it's not been a straight, easy road. There's been a lot more obstacles to overcome, but now I bust through the obstacles. I don't stay stuck.
Right.
And I keep moving forward.
That's good. Keep moving forward. Another point us practicing mindfulness. You can look at the article yourself and read through it, but practicing self-compassion and being nice to ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we're nice to everybody else, but not always that nice to ourselves. And even being able to understand, it says what happened in the past can't be changed, but how can I act differently now? These are, again, talking points right from an article in Psychology Today. And get more comfortable with failure is what it's saying. Failure or rejection, which can make you avoid trying hard things. If you don't try, then you really can never fail. But if you fail, guess what? You know what didn't work. And this isn't from them. I actually was thinking about Thomas Edison back then. It says he didn't fail. He actually found 10,000 ways that didn't work. And so keep that in mind when we look like something is a failed opportunity. It may not be. It may be just a learning lesson for you. So I'll put that article right there in the comments section for you guys. All right. So what's new and on the horizon for Lori with the Lori Factor, your book, and everything that you have going on in your newfound life after the self-sabotage?
Yes. And of course, recognizing the toxic relationship and now knowing how to have healthier relationships, just in general, personally and professionally, and starting with yourself. So I just want to throw that out there, is learn to have a healthy relationship with yourself and ultimately with God, because that connection, without it, forget about it. So now the Lori Factor is turned into not just a motivational message and to tell about my journey to give people hope, but also it's a process. And part of that process is with the LORI, beyond the original, is the legacy building, helping people to build a legacy and find right opportunities and getting results with those opportunities. Like, for instance, that co-author opportunity I had, and I'd love to share it with other people as well as many others, but that's one example. And the I is still invest in yourself, but knowing there's so many times that if I had that $500,000 today, I'd know more how to multiply it and invest it wisely and not waste things that sounded good. And it was like a shiny object syndrome. And so I've learned a lot, and I'm sharing my experience with others. So that's one of the main things too. And I have a course that goes with the book. So like Michael Jackson said, easy as ABC, 1, 2, 3. So I call it the ABCs using the Lori Factor process. And it's achieve, believe, conceive. So
Achieve,
the ABCs,
believe, conceive. Okay.
because you need to know, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to accomplish? You need to know that, which goes along with the larger vision, and then the believe is believe it's possible, believe you can do it, no matter what it looks like, even if you don't know the how yet. And C is conceive, which is, okay, now it's time. You believe it, you know what you want to achieve. So let's create that. Let's create your goals, to bring your goals into reality in your dreams and get results. So I'm excited about how that works, and anybody looking to, have hope, like if they still need the help with that part of it, and the original Lori Factor of, oh boy, yeah, I'm kind of in a stuck place.
Right.
So get unstuck, and I still deal, I do have some doubt, and I'm self-sabotaging, so I can help people go from that to overcoming. And then the process, then once they're ready, okay, now, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm ready to invest in some opportunities. What do you recommend? So those are the things I'm involved with at this
That's
point.
excellent. And people can connect with you to learn more about the ABCs, to learn more about the Lori Factor. They can connect with you via text, right?
Yes.
At 585-371-8328. or they can also follow you on all of your social media pages at Lori Bruton, and you can ask directly what you need from her and the different services. And to get a copy of your book, where do they go?
So it is on Amazon, or else they can also text me. I can share a link. I actually have a lot of copies on hand here, so if they want a signed copy, then they can request that directly from me.
Yes, they definitely want a signed copy. Definitely. And tell us about this picture too.
Those are my dear children. My son Joseph and daughter-in-law Stephanie. And we were actually, I don't know if you've ever heard, well, depends where you live, but there's this group called the Shintas, and we were at their live show. That's a picture when we went to see them. They're originally from Buffalo, New York, and they now perform in Las Vegas.
Awesome. How about this?
So that was a photo shoot, and she's like, where do you want to get some pictures? And I said, I love anything by the water. So that was one of my favorite places by a local lake, and there was a nice bench there, and that is the real me right there, just by the water, in my zone, in my element.
Excellent. And I know you have, I'm trying to find us another picture I have here of you in some kind of jazzy jacket. Yeah, look at that.
Yes, that was actually another photo shoot, which was all those shots. Some were inside, some were outside. And that was another lake locally, but that was inside. And that's where she captured my book, me and my book. And that was really fun. I got to meet Mrs. New York. And being that I live in Western New York, that was an event where I was on a speaker panel and got to meet her and a lot of other wonderful people. And that was put on by Kelly Brewer, the Influential Women. And I actually write a monthly column in her online magazine, Rochester Women Online. So I do freelance articles regularly for her, some in the Ultimate Achievers with Brian Wright. So I write for some magazines, and that's a lot of fun. And travel writing is my absolute favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of travel writing, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and we're going to hear some closing comments shortly from our expert, Lori Bruton. We'll be right back, everyone, right after this break.
Who are those people? You know, the guys playing golf in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. The woman wearing $1,000 shoes at a cafe in the city. The kid in the ripped jeans driving a $200,000 sports car. What do they know that you don't? One word: leverage. Working smarter, not harder. Owning their own business, not being owned by a job. The good news? We have it. Interested?
All right, we're back, but we also have one more piece of that company's commercial. So we're going to play the next part of that, and we'll be right back.
Two things are almost certain about you. Number one, you know people who travel. Of course you do. Everybody travels. It's an $8 trillion industry. It's what people dream about doing. And number two, you probably aren't making the commission. You see, every car rental, every hotel, and every resort pays commissions. They may go to a website or to a traditional travel agent. But trust us, someone is earning it. Well, what if we could show you a way to put that commission in your pocket? It doesn't hurt to take a peek. Interested?
All right. So if you're interested in learning more about the travel industry and how you can own a piece of it, you can definitely reach out to trueyougetaway@gmail.com. Email trueyougetaway@gmail.com. And if you're interested in booking travel that has price match guarantees, you can go to kimjacobs.intellitravel.com. Sign up and get your own, book all of your travel like you normally book through all of the different sources, but you can just book it there. And then there are price match guarantees. All right. So I saw a lot of comments that came in the studio audience, and people are very intrigued with your topic here today. So it's resonating with everyone. Dr. Tina Ramsey is on, and she's with CTR Media Network, which streams shows in over 100 countries, 350 million households, and the Kim Jacobs Show is a part of that platform. Also now starting to stream on Roku. So just want to make sure you all are aware of that. And thank you, Dr. Tina Ramsey, for being here today. She said hello and great topic. All right. All right. So give us a closing thought, if you would.
Service is the word comes to mind. I feel like my family is a service-oriented family because I feel like my message will impact life. So I want to help as many people as I can by showing up on shows, being on podcasts, possibly stages, and just connecting with people, having conversations, and let's see where that goes. I didn't have a picture of my other son, who is a service-oriented man, and he is chief of the local fire department. So he first responder. So that's his way of serving. And
that's a great way of serving.
Yes. Now, my other son, he really has a heart for people. He's a brilliant businessman, and he helps people that need help with their websites or marketing, advertising. And I just love that there's different ways we serve people. And so I invite anyone who wants to explore any of that kind of service, then they need help or know someone who does. Again, just feel free to still text me and I can plug you into my son with that.
Yes. So make sure you can get connected with Lori Bruton by reaching out to her via text at 585-371-8328. Again, 585-371-8328. And you can also follow her on social media or DM her or however you do it at Lori Bruton, at Lori Bruton. Now, let me take a moment and acknowledge some of the people that have been, let's see. I don't want to leave anybody out. So by all means, if you want to show some level of support, feel free to do that. Okay. All right. Let me just say a few shout outs here. Carrie Ann, thank you so much for your support to the Kim Jacobs Show ministry. Thank you. Thank you. And I don't think everything, I think everything I do believe that we do on behalf of God, in my opinion, we're a walking Bible. And so I believe that whatever I'm doing it to the glory of God. And I want it to be representative of whatever he would expect for me to do, representing anything pertaining to him. So that's very important to me in every aspect of my life. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if it's the mother dreamer movement, which I have as well, for mothers that have goals and dreams that have been put on the back burner and they need to be dusted off. That's motherdreamer.com/join. You can join that movement. Any aspect of life that God has assigned my hands to, I want it to be a blessing to this earth, to these people on this earth. And some things I do might not even be stuff that I would have personally done that much, but I know it's going to be somebody's blessing in their regard. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Allison. Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you, Dayron. Thank you, my mom. My mom pours into the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Joe D. Thank you, Ken, Canyon. I thank all of you all that are supporting and being a part of. And I said Allison, yeah, all of you all that are supporting the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you so much. And one other thing I'll say is we have a group training coming up very soon, and students have already started registering. If you're interested in starting your own virtual show, from scratch. And the way that it's done is universal. So you'll be able to get a video streaming situation, live streaming. You'll also be able to get the audio version where some people only will listen to audio components. And I'll train you on that as well. And then also connect you with my sources that will help you be able to stream it into countries. And so obviously Dr. Tina Ramsey is one of those connections, okay, with CTR Media Network. So if you're interested in being one of the students in the upcoming class, reach out to me immediately at 704-944-3534. People are already registering for the group session, and I'll let you know how you can do that from the comfort of your home. Or you can email me, kim@thebalancedoctor.tv. I can tell you this, I am so honored that you came on the show today, Lori. The Lori factor is going to make a difference in so many people's lives. And you know how you get on a show and you're like, Doug, I meant to say this. Is there something you meant to say before we close out?
Yes. I want to, it just came to me. Well, it's something that's always on my mind. I want to express my gratitude. And it was an honor that Les Brown wrote the foreword for the Lori Factor. So thank you, Les, if you're listening out there. Love you. And that was huge for him to write the foreword for my book.
Yes, it's extremely huge. When it speaks volumes to who Dr. Les Brown is, because there are people at that level that would never do some of the things that this man is opening up his heart to do. And he's a living legend, and he does not have to do this. So thank you, Dr. Les Brown, for always being so willing to pull out the greatness in another human being. Your life is not in vain. We thank you for being who God created you to be on this earth. That he's going to live full, as he says, and he's going to die empty because he's poured it all out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Les Brown. And on that note, everybody, we're going to close out. Thank you. And join CTR Media Network. Let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow right here at 11 o'clock a.m. on the Kim Jacobs Show. God bless you all and have a great day.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.